Hello, everybody listening to the Fairweather Podcast. It's your boy 2K Suave. I'm here with my dog A-Rod, and we have two special guests back on the show, back like they never left. We missed them dearly. Our show is just 20 times better when they're on. We got the brothers of Townie Sports, Mr. Vic and Mr. Sammy. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Always a pleasure to be on. Love it. Love to chop it up with you guys.
I feel like every time
Thank you again for having us, guys.
I feel like every time we want to talk, our conversations can go like 7 hours, but we all got lives to get back to. So.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up, A-Rod?
Chilling, man. Town is the extended family, so always a pleasure to have them on, man. Love chopping it up with them. So,
yes, sir. When's the last time y'all hung out? Didn't y'all play or watch soccer together or something recently?
play golf.
Golf. Where y'all play golf at?
We played golf.
Where do y'all play golf at?
At Summerfield.
Oh, okay. Y'all gonna teach me? Somebody's gonna teach me how to play because I'm trying to work on my swing. I don't know how to
come out.
Vic will teach you. Sammy will correct you.
That sounds like a good partnership.
That's fact. That's facts. You can always have a good time golfing with us because most of the time we spend drinking. So
I want you to know this. I want you to know this.
Always not KK.
If you're not a golfer and you go golfing with Vic, two things. One, he looks stiff as shit when he golfs. And thing number two, he could hit a ball, far as shit, and it looks sweet. And even when he hits it, fuck. God damn. And you would think it was like the nicest hit, and they'd be like, "Good hit, Vic." Fuck, nah, my other one should have went the other way. God damn it.
That sounds like good superstitions to me. I don't know. So
I strive for perfection, and that's in my life daily. And I try to bring perfection here when I'm on the podcast with you guys. So it's the same level of effort, golf and podcasting. I bring it all.
All right, I know you guys are the numbers people, so I'm gonna need to hear some statistics today, some percentages, some odds. We're gonna make sure we knock that all out. But let's get this thing started. First of all, before we even, obviously, the NFL playoffs are here, but I'd like to address something that was said before the season. Now that he's on the show, to defend himself, there was a tweet that a certain fella in this little room right here said something about Mac Jones. Can you please remind me what you said, sir? Can you please remind me?
I don't remember the exact tweet, but I've been getting shit for this all year, and I'm eating it, and I'm taking it, and I'm. Yeah, it hasn't looked good. I said I would only pick 5 other quarterbacks at this current point, at this current age. Like, obviously, you're not taking, some of the older guys or guys that have been in the league, but based on players that were around his age, there was only like 4 or 5 other guys that I would take, including Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence. There was a couple others that I had named on that list, but yeah, it didn't look so good this year. And I think that's twofold. I think it's a little bit of him, but I also think it's the lack of an offensive coordinator. I think we really saw, especially mid-year during the season. I don't know if you guys watch. I mean, me and Vic have to suffer through the games every week and bitch at each other about it. But Mac Jones was constantly getting really mad, and he's more of like a chill kind of guy, right? Yeah. So to see him get so worked up because the plays that they're calling are complete trash. So that's what I'm thinking. I don't know, because in the last 4 or 5 weeks, he has shown a lot better of more of what we saw last year. But obviously the first 10 to 12 weeks, it was not looking good.
Vic, you gonna help him out over here? You got something to say about your boy?
No
Mac?
Way. He hates Mac Jones.
I hate Mac Jones. Fuck Mac Jones. He sucks.
Were you? What was it? What was his name? The third string guy.
Zappy. I was fighting for. I was voting for Zappy. I was like, let's bring in Cooper Rush. See what he's got. There's so many other options. I was pissed that we never got Gardner Minshew. I'm off the Mac Jones trend. My thing with Mac Jones is I feel like he had so much success in college because of the receivers he was throwing to. I mean, goddamn, he was throwing to a Heisman-winning wide receiver half the time.
Thank you very much.
And now he's throwing to Jacoby Myers. Now, no shade to Jacoby Myers, but he's no Devonta Smith. and I never liked Jones. It feels like he plays the position like a college quarterback. You see when he gets pressured in the pocket, he doesn't have a good feel for the pocket, never steps up in the pocket, it feels like. Now, when he does those things, he does look like he has the arm talent to be accurate, to get the ball there. Problem is, he's never comfortable in the pocket, ever. Now, I don't know if that has to do with offensive line, play calling, whatnot, but I hate Mac Jones.
Wait, but do you put more of the blame on his lap, or this whole Matt Patricia, Joe Judge situation?
Definitely Matt Patricia did not help. I mean, Matt Patricia might be the worst play caller I've ever seen. I think we would have had better luck with a Pop Warner coach at a Saugus, Massachusetts, than we had with Matt Patricia. He was horrendous this season. And there's already reports that Kraft and Belichick met already about an offensive shakeup. So, all eyes I'm hoping for are pointing towards getting in Cliff Kingsbury and maybe bringing one of Cliff Kingsbury's old wide receivers to New England and my guy D-Hop. So let's see what happens there.
You're welcome. I gave you that.
I'll take D-Hop. You said D-Hop is on the market. I said D-Hop to the Pats.
It's on the market. They're gonna trade him. It's out there.
But who would you rather be though? Would you rather be Zach Wilson or Mac Jones? A-Rod, who would you rather be?
Mac Jones, 100% Mac Jones over Zach. I mean,
Zach Wilson. Yeah, the same thing. Zach Wilson's a bum. If there's anything Tony Romo has ever been wrong about in his life, was the day he compared, and I'll never let Tony. That lives rent free in my head. That quote that he said during the draft, that he said Zach Wilson has similarities and looks just like Patrick Mahomes. When I heard that, I got kind of excited, but I was like, okay, Tony's never wrong about shit. But this is the one thing I think he's only ever been wrong about in football that I heard. So
I mean, he's wrong about a lot of other things, but that's pretty blatant. That's pretty
bad. He's pretty spot on though. Like we can be honest, he's pretty spot on a lot of stuff, and we agree with what he says. But he said Jets fans should be happy because you've got a great quarterback, and it's the second coming of Patrick Mahomes. And I was like, oh God,
because of one throw he made in no pads. Anyway, all right, let's stop talking about bad quarterbacks. There's good quarterback play, obviously, in the NFL playoffs right now. I don't know if you guys have the bracket in front of you to kind of follow along a little bit, but the bracket is set. Last week felt like the playoffs already. You had Tennessee and Jacksonville. That was, obviously a playoff game. Detroit kept Green Bay out of the playoffs. That was pretty ballsy of Dan Campbell. Like, that's for real. We were talking about it last week. We knew there was no way he's just going to let Green Bay, no matter what Seattle did, they were not just going to let Green Bay win that game. So, go ahead.
No, it's just I agree with you. I say, there's no way.
Yeah, so, with that being said, we got Seattle in there now having to play San Francisco. We got Tampa Bay back into the playoffs at 8-9. Getting thrashed in the second half by obviously the backups with the Falcons, but it's looked pretty much the same all year. I've been giving them shit all year, so I'm proud of my preseason thought of how I thought they were going to be. Dallas, another team that's it feels like they're backing in, even though they have 12 wins. They don't look like a real dominant team like we thought they could be. Minnesota is a weird number 3 because they win all these close games and then go blown out every other game. The Giants are, might be a little dark horse to win a game in the playoffs. And then San Francisco looks obviously amazing. And Philly, obviously, were number 1. So we'll start with the NFC, and then we'll close it out with your little conference in the AFC. So Sammy, take it away. Give me like a preview of what you think the playoffs are going to look like. Anything exciting you think we're going to see?
I just want to point something out. This is something Vic had pointed out to me, this little app that we have that we look at kind of where the money is going for a lot of these games. And there's one thing in particular that really stuck out to me was the Giants at the Minnesota Vikings. So you're looking at the Minnesota Vikings are favored by 3, right? But 92% of the cash is going to the New York Giants.
I believe it.
And 52% of the tickets is going to the New York Giants. So there are a lot of people that agree with kind of probably you guys as well that the Minnesota Vikings are a fluky 12-4 team.
Yeah, and so when you see, and just to back up Sammy's point there, so when you see a lot of the cash, when you see most of the cash go there, that's what we degenerate gamblers like to call the sharps. So the sharps are the big guys that are actually moving lines in Vegas that bet millions of dollars on each game. Those are the guys that are moving the money. So when you see such a crazy amount disparity there, like 50, you said 52% of the tickets, Sammy.
52% of the tickets and 92% of the cash.
92% of cash. So that's a huge disparity there. If I'm anybody else, I'm gonna bet with the sharps, even though you're not fading the public, because the public money, which are the tickets, is still going with the Giants. I would still take the Giants here, no doubt about it. But sorry to derail everything. Just wanted to.
No, you're good. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Sammy, go ahead. What are we expecting to see? Maybe just wild card weekend, or what do you think? The whole way through. Like, what do you on the NFC side at least?
I think there's really two games in particular that I'm really interested in. It's honestly those Saturday games, right? I mean, those are the games that we're looking at that I think are going to be relatively close. I mean, Vegas doesn't think that the Niners Seahawks game is going to be close because I think the spread's 9.5 right now.
Jeez.
But this is a game where they always battle each other, extremely tough, right? And we're looking at a Seattle Seahawks team that definitely overachieved by anyone's margins. I don't think anybody thought the Seahawks were going to be able to make the playoffs after losing, Russell Wilson. And I mean, Pete Carroll is brilliant, right? Like, I mean, we got to give all the credit to Pete Carroll. Obviously, on the other side of the ball, we got, Christian McCaffrey's resurgence. Maybe he was, taking a little longer healing from injuries in Carolina so that he can, save his value and go somewhere that's winning. But good for him over there in San Francisco. Exactly. And we're going to see Brock Purdy. So I'm really interested in that game to see how close that game is. And honestly, I've since that was it week 1, week 2, where Geno Smith had that tremendous quote that I'll never, ever forget. Yeah. I kind of want to see what they do here. And then on the other side, AFC. Oh, sorry. So I'll stick there, and then we'll talk about AFC after.
All right. Go ahead, Vic. What are you excited about with the NFC right now?
Well, I think I'm most excited for Geno Smith and my Seattle Seahawks.
That's been his squad since week 4.
In week 4, I said it. I said, this is for real. Get on the train.
I didn't
Geno's for real.
It's like the Bengals last year, right?
Yeah.
Like the Bengals last year. So if you look at the quarterback comparison, it's actually not that much different. And I actually like Brock Purdy a lot, right? Mm-hmm. So the Pro Football Focus grade of Geno Smith, 79.8, Brock Purdy, 76.6. But if you look at their big time throw percentage, Geno Smith, 4.92 to Brock Purdy's 1.49. And when you think about Seattle, I feel like most people think about them as a run-first team. Not true. They've actually passed the ball on 63% of plays, as opposed to 36% of plays on the run. Really? So I think this is going to be an open game. It's really going to come down to defenses here. Can the Seattle defense stop this? Because we know that the 49ers defense is going to do. They're going to hold their own, right? Yeah. Probably one of the best defenses in the NFL. I believe they're ranked 4th or third on Pro Football Focus. But is Christian McCaffrey fully healthy? He's questionable, right? This week with a leg injury. So we're going to see what happens there. I still like San Francisco to win the game, but I like Seattle's chances. I would take Seattle plus 9.5 here.
Hell yeah. Take that Seattle. Slam
plus
that.
9.5. Not straight
Slam
up.
That. Slam that 9.5.
All right. A-Rod.
I think the game I'm excited about the most is probably the same one too. I mean, I'm overseeing the Cowboys play the Bucks. Like, it's the most annoying.
Like, how many times, bro?
It's getting annoying. I'm sick of every stat they throw out there. I think Tom Brady's 7-0 against the Cowboys. I hope he goes 7-1 now, man. And if there's anything, there's two fan bases that I really can't stand, and it's Bucks fans. Like, they're the most annoying fans in the world, and you guys are excuse my terminology here, but you're the smartest people with Down syndrome out there right now, squeaking into the playoffs right now. So you got to go against the Cowboys again. The Cowboys are, they look atrocious last game, but it is what it is. They're the Cowboys. There's a lot of pressure on Dak to win a playoff game finally. The Cowboys will win this playoff game. So this should be your chance right now, Cowboys. But that Seahawks 49ers game, I've been dogging Geno Smith his entire career. And for once, I'm on the Geno Smith bandwagon now. I'm rooting for the guy.
Finally.
Hell yeah.
If there's anything that I've seen in Geno Smith that I didn't see with the Jets or with the Giants, his
Pete
tension
Carroll.
it is Pete Carroll. It's his maturity. His maturity is definitely a lot different, because I'll never forget when I saw him on draft day go day 2, his emotions, his his actions, how pissed off he wasn't the first overall pick when he was projected to go 1 overall and slid. And then just his antics on the field with the Jets, not getting along with his team, getting his jaw broken by the defensive end. It just didn't look good in New York.
I forgot about that.
I'll never forget it, bro.
Wow.
I will never forget it. I'll never forget all the boos he got in New York. But as soon as he got to Seattle, he found a home. And I'm not saying I'm on the Seahawks bandwagon, but I'm glad he's out there. He's slanging the rock.
You're a Pete Carroll fan.
I'm a huge Pete Carroll fan.
USC.
I am. I told you. I apologized already like 5 or 6 episodes ago saying I'm sorry to Pete Carroll. I have faith in Pete Carroll to do whatever he can with a team. Even if you get rid of the entire Legion of Boom and have to start from scratch, you definitely have, the right players in the locker room, because that's what it is. Pete Carroll commands, men, not boys, in his locker room, and he gets the right guys in. And when I saw Geno Smith, I was like, this is going to be cancerous. But the way he's held himself, the way he's answered questions, probably one of the greatest quotes we all heard that night. I hope he can stand up against the 49ers, but I like the 49ers to win it too. It's going to be tough. The 49ers are healthy, minus the quarterback, but Brock Purdy's 5-0 as a starter, and he's looking good. So Mr. Irrelevant to somebody.
Yo, so as a Jets fan, would you accept Geno Smith back? Because y'all might be in the market for a quarterback, and he's due for a big payday right now. Y'all got money.
And Seattle's not going to let him go. They're not going to let him go. And
they got what pick did they get from the Rams? 3rd?
No, it's not 3rd. It's like 8th or something like that.
Still a good quarterback draft, but we'll see. I don't think you're going to get a quarterback here unless you have the first 2 picks.
I'm truly expecting, and this has been haunting me since the end of the season. I am truly expecting them to roll out there with Zach Wilson as the week 1 starter. I am truly expecting, because we just fired Matt LaFleur, or the brother, whatever, the offensive coordinator. We just fired him like 2 hours ago. So he's gone. I'm 50-50 on it. I think a healthier offense would have been better. I think a more stable quarterback would have been better to command there. He had some tricky plays. I liked some of the stuff he was doing. But Zach Wilson just showed he wasn't coachable. But I think they're invested too much. It's a 2 overall pick, and kind of like the Browns, you got to cut your ties no matter where this guy was drafted. 1, 2, 3, fucking wherever. Cut the ties with the guy.
Shit, the Cardinals. They cut what's his name?
Josh Rosen
after 1 season.
Yeah, like you gotta
call him Rosen.
But even the Cardinals, like they're a shit show too, man. And that's the last thing I want to be, is a shit show in New York. I just want you to understand when you need to cut the ties. They had a top 15 pick, and they picked it on a quarterback, and then they had the number 1 overall pick, and then picked it on a quarterback again. Foolish in my eyes, but then look at the Redskins. You take RG3, and then you take Kirk Cousins in the 2nd round. So it panned out for the round. or 4th round, whatever.
Yeah.
It panned out for
the Commanders, sir. The
Oh,
Commanders.
sorry. Yes, the
They
Commanders.
were formerly the Redskins, though, so
When they
can't say
drafted
that.
them, but they are commanding
I
attention
think
right now.
we're gonna have to cancel A-Rod. I'm sorry,
A-Rod,
A-Rod.
we're gonna have to.
Fuck you.
I'm gonna kick you off the island.
This ain't around the horn. You ain't gonna mute me. It's my show. My fucking show.
But no, and Sam, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to mention something about the Dallas Cowboys, something that I called out kind of early on in the season. I think it was in our group chat as well, A-Rod, where I was mentioning when that Dallas Cowboys when they traded Amari Cooper away, I thought it was absolutely insane. And I think we started to see how one-dimensional the Cowboys became without Amari Cooper and how underrated Amari Cooper is as a wide receiver, because he went with barely a quarterback, right? Like barely a quarterback in Cleveland, had probably one of his best seasons ever. And the Dallas Cowboys looked like they struggled. And it looked like CeeDee Lamb could not be that guy by himself. So I think that's something to, keep your eyes on. Obviously, yes, we're all bored of the Cowboys-Bucks matchup. But I think that was something really interesting as you saw the season progress.
Oh, and I forgot to say my second fan base I hate. I don't think I said it, the Giants. I can't stand them. So I look for I'm looking like, I know everyone's saying bet on the Giants, man, but there's a lot of money in New York. Sammy and I got a joke about some people from New York. I'm not gonna stay on the show because I'm not trying to get Kanye down here.
This is good. This is good.
But I mean, I understand that there's a huge fan base with the Giants, and they're finally back in the playoffs. So they're running to bet this, and I
nothing to lose.
Yeah, absolutely nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. I get it. I get it. Except the little bit of money you're gonna, bet on this game, whatever it is. It's probably
92% is not just fans. Those are the sharps in Vegas.
They know what the hell they're talking about. The money's being moved.
Vegas like never misses. I'll say that. I mean, they called that national championship game, said it was going to be a bloodbath, and I think we all thought it was going to be a bloodbath too. So
well, I will say that the one that intrigues me more than the Giants, and I'm sorry, Rod, to cut you off, but I just wanted to go back before we forget about it. The Dallas Tampa Bay game. That's another one where the cash is heavily favored on the underdog here. And in fact, 63% of the cash on the money line is towards the Bucks, which makes me kind of think the public and the sharps think that the Bucks are going to pull this out.
They're even 71% on the spread.
Yeah, 71. I mean, it's a 2.5 point spread. Yeah. I mean, so what do you guys think? Do you really think, A-Rod, that Tampa Bay is going to lose to Dallas again? Honestly, like without even thinking about your heart, what's your head telling you?
My head tells me it's Tom Brady in the playoffs, and Tom Brady, I mean, he could be playing possum the whole regular season and then fucking pop up and just take him to the Super Bowl. And we're just like, what the fuck kind of year was this? What are we really doing here? Why did you?
I'll cut you off. He's not going to the Super Bowl this year. Okay,
I don't think he will either.
You can't say that confidently, though. I agree with you, but you can't say that confidently.
I'm very confident. Right now because I've been drinking whiskey. But an hour ago, you asked me, I'm shitting bricks. I'm like, so I'm looking at that game.
If he goes to the Super Bowl,
I don't know who I want to win between that game because, quite frankly, this new Buck fan base I can't stand, and then the Cowboys is like my number one. Like, you know what I mean. So I don't know which way I want to swing on that one. But if in fact, San Francisco and Minnesota do take care of their business, we got to play one of them. And I don't know whose mouth I want to hear for a whole week, Cowboy fans' mouth or Bucks fans' mouth. So I'm a little, that game is very for me right now.
How do we feel like as a collective that a team that's under 500 has a home game to open up the playoffs? Do we feel like, does that feel right?
The rules are the rules, but no, it's stupid. I mean, come on, man. It's like Seattle has a better record. Wouldn't you want to see the 12th man instead of the Bucks fans? Like, come on. I don't know, but
fire the cannon. KK, if the Bucks do go to the Super Bowl, you got to get like the Stephen A haircut or some shit like that, man. You got to get the Stephen A haircut.
They can't beat San Francisco.
Will you be that surprised if Tom Brady just looks like playoff Tom Brady? Are you just going to sit here and be like,
how has he looked the last 8 weeks? lethargic, tired, losing weight, sad, depressed.
His wife left him for Antonio Brown.
I mean, think about it. Who knows? Maybe it did happen. Maybe that picture that I saw, it can't be her, but maybe it is, but I can't count on Tom Brady to carry that team to the Super Bowl. It's not like the team is bad, but we all know the formula. That offensive line sucks. Go after him, and he'll,
And the offensive coordinator sucks.
Yeah.
Oh my God, are you one of these people? Man, listen.
One of them too.
What can they do with their bad offensive line? Any offensive coordinator can't help that.
Yeah, you can call better.
I mean, that's Tom Brady's
yeah,
MO. I don't know, but believe it or not, a game in the NFC that I was actually excited about before we move on to the other side was not even in the playoffs. It was in Chicago. The fact that Chicago was going to get the number 1 pick because Lovie Smith wanted to stick it to the owners because he knew who was getting fired.
Rich Eisen may be my new favorite person to listen to now.
He's awesome.
Oh, he's been my guy for years.
He's the best.
I know, but I never listened to him but I've been listening to the last couple months. Oh my God, it's the greatest. He said Lovie Smith opened up a spite store in Houston because he had to stick it to his old team.
All right.
Stick it to his old team, and he was going out swinging. They said he probably knew he was fired.
I get to help out Chicago. I like that.
What do I have to lose? I beat him and help him out at the same time, and I'll open up this spite store.
I like that. So that game, that situation, and then the fact that the Colts are still considering keeping Jeff Saturday is beyond me. But hey, that's another 20-hour story in my life for another day. Right. But Chicago getting that number 1 pick, that's real scary because they really don't need a quarterback. So somebody desperate right now for a quarterback, Jets, some of the teams that were mentioned earlier. What do you go give up to go get that number 1 pick? I mean, Lynch, what's his name from San Francisco? They just drafted Love. What's his name? Not Love. The kid that can run fast.
Trey Lance.
They give up 3 first-round picks for him? So what's that number 1 pick going to cost? I don't know.
Dude, you know what it is? What's going on? It's a real draft day movie is exactly what it is right now. That's exactly what's going on right now. So make that trade for the number 1 pick. What's it going to cost? I'm curious to see what it's going to be because they don't need it.
Y'all want to trade up for that pick?
I would, because I think either of these two guys is a surefire, surefire top 10 quarterback in the league. I think, in my opinion, Bryce Young and Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. I think both of them have great abilities and can be good. I love CJ Stroud's athleticism. I love Bryce Love's. Bryce, I don't think you call him Bryce Love. Bryce Young,
the basketball player for UNC. Go Tar Heels.
Yeah. I love his poise in the pocket and his athleticism. To be honest with you, but I like Stroud's size more. So I would take Stroud over Young, but it's a toss up. I think most people would take Young over Stroud, but I like Stroud. He's not completely a finished product yet, but I think he has the ability to be a really good quarterback. Even better, who would I compare him to? I guess I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna be stupid and compare him to Patrick Mahomes, but maybe like a shorter Josh Allen, maybe. I think.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen. My comparison to Josh Allen is Andrew Luck and Cam Newton had a baby. That's how I see Josh Allen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying like a shorter Josh Allen because he doesn't have the size. I think he's like 6'2", 6'3", something like that. But we're in the age of, and I think Sammy and I talked about this in a group chat. We're in an age where I think a mobile quarterback is now the most important type of quarterback. Pocket passers are a thing of the past. If you don't have any mobility in the pocket, if you don't have escapability. Because I think offensive lines nowadays are worse. They just are.
You can't put the money towards it.
Well, Well, now that they don't put the money, they don't have the time to practice anymore. The OTAs, you're not allowed to hit as much as you used to. So they're not practicing as much. So therefore, those offensive lines are getting worse because they're not getting the reps that they used to. So what's going to help you with a shitty offensive line? A quarterback that has escapability. And I think both of those guys have great escapability.
Yeah, and I think there's an optimization point when you're talking about mobile quarterbacks. Like, you're not going to go out and get like a Lamar Jackson, right? Because, you know, I've been a Lamar Jackson fan since he was at Louisville. I understood that he could throw the ball, but we just haven't seen that type of success from him in the NFL. What do you do when you want to beat the Ravens? You just stop him from running the ball. And force him to beat you through the air, right? Try to force him to beat you through the air. And if he beats you through the air, good for you. But I think there's an optimization point. I think one of our friends pointed it out. You know, you look at a guy like Joe Burrow, might be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And he has escapability, right? Like, he can get out of the pocket when he wants to, but he is smart enough to step up when he needs to, make the pass when he needs to. And I think you're also seeing a step up from him this season where he's learning to take the sack. Okay, I just got to take the sack, because you can't always rely on that escapability as well. It helps you get a couple extra yards, but it also puts you up for injury. And I think you're looking at quarterbacks that need to be slightly athletic, but also really smart and know when to do what they need to do, whether it be throw the ball out or just take the sack. So,
and that's where bringing me back to Tom Brady. Like, he doesn't have escapability. That's why, especially this time right now, it is so much easier to get to the quarterback, especially when your offensive line is so banged up. There's no way he's going to have time to just do what he wants to do like he used to do. Like, when you guys had him, he had time back there to eat popcorn, say hi to Giselle or whatever. You know, he had a lot of time. Now it's like, bro, I got to get rid of this ball. That's why the play calling sucks, because they got to get rid of the ball quickly or he's going to get sacked. So,
they also had one of the best offensive line coaches of all time, and Dante Scarnecchia, who no longer coaches. So, and you don't see a lot of offensive line coaches that, you know, are as good as probably he was.
Yeah. I hear his name all the time. And I don't want to stay in college too long, but I've seen too many mock drafts that have like Will Levis going like 1 or 2. I don't know if you paid attention to Kentucky football at all this year, but comparing Will Levis to to Bryce and CJ, like, I don't know what you guys have seen.
Absolutely not. I think this is another Zach Wilson type. Who's the guy from Mizzou back in the day? Blaine Gabbert. He's gonna be a workout hero.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson is another one I see in the first round, and I just don't see that either.
He can't throw at all.
He never showed it in college at all. Yeah, he's worse. He's a worse thrower in college than Lamar Jackson was.
Oh, by a mile. Like, he can't throw at all. It's
exactly.
Ugly. Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't see it there. I honestly, I don't even think he's as good as Trey Lance is. As far as a thrower, and I don't think Trey Lance is there.
I honestly don't even know how Trey Lance plays football, because I feel like I've never seen him play in my entire life.
No, I'm just talking about college. Like,
I never watched him in college.
He played one game. Played one game.
I never heard of this kid before.
Or no, it was 2, right? It was like 2 games because it was a COVID season. He played like two.
Whatever you tell me, I'll believe, because I literally have no idea. But all right. Whatever. Will Levis will be all right. I don't know.
Maybe I'm getting him confused with Josh Allen. I don't remember. But all I know is that the only 2 surefire quarterbacks I think in this draft that are not projects.
Yeah.
Because Will Levis could be a project for sure, and as could Anthony Richardson. But those are like the who's the guy that Tennessee got last year? I can't think of his name. The guy
Malik. Not Malik. Is it Malik?
Yeah, Malik.
Yeah,
Malik Willis.
Willis, yeah.
Yeah, Malik Willis. And I feel like that's the type of quarterback that you're getting when you're drafting Anthony Richardson out of Florida.
Very raw.
Very raw.
Yeah.
And sometimes those work out, sometimes they don't. It worked out for Dak. You guys remember when Dak came out?
Yeah, you're right.
He was very raw and ended up, becoming one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, whether you guys think he's good or not, that's on you. But I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. But that's what I think about the college scene. I think it's those 2 quarterbacks and then everybody else.
All right. Let's hop on over to the AFC. Obviously, Kansas City was able to lock in that number 1 seed. We wouldn't have known if the Bills could have taken it, obviously, with the crazy stuff that happened or the Bengals. All the crazy stuff that happened last week with Damar Hamlin. I'm happy that he's doing well and he's home now. The story is miraculous because after that Monday night, like I was so like down and shivering and like, man, this is crazy. But
I think it's funny that it was like most of the people that watch American sports, no offense, KK, but all the people that watch soccer already had seen something
Erickson,
like this happen
I watched that game
so
too.
many different times. So
Erickson's
yeah.
He actually had a heart attack. He had a heart attack on the field, I think. He had a cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
And I think he was dead.
Yep.
And then the machine.
Yeah, he was pronounced dead. That's why he couldn't play for Inter Milan anymore, because Italy said if you have a heart in their league, if you have a heart or like one of those I forgot what they're called, in your heart, you can't play in their league. Yeah, if you have a pacemaker, you can't play. So
really, that's like part of the rules.
Yeah, that league. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Like they're very like strict on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's wild, but yeah, Damar Hamlin, man, that shit was crazy. Now that he's healthy, I can say that he fucked me in fantasy. But
yeah, so all right, listen, I had T. Higgins and Dawson Knox, and I needed a pretty decent game from both of them. But I will never get the opportunity to know if they were ever going to have that decent game.
Same.
And I had to settle for second place and got my money back. And that's it.
Same. I had Joe Burrow. And he was on a heater. And and thank God he's healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can feel comfortable saying
like I won.
what I'm thinking.
I won. I wish the guy speedy recovery. I got nothing bad to say about that fantasy game, bro. Just chill with that shit.
Anyway, moving on. But yeah, Kansas City's there. Jacksonville, I am so proud of my boy Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson, our Super Bowl winning coach, for getting that team not only to the playoffs, but they get to host a playoff game. That is amazing to me. I love to see it. I feel like they're not ready yet, but they're well on their way. They're ahead of schedule already. And the AFC South is horrible. Houston's going to suck forever. The Colts are going to try Derek Carr next year, and then the year after that, going to try some other old quarterback. Like they're not figuring it out because that's just another shit show out of nowhere. Used to have Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, who guys, and now I don't know what happened to them. But yeah, Jacksonville gets to host a game. They host the Chargers, so we can finally see Herbert in the playoffs. We've been waiting to anoint him as the true. Oh, he is number 2, number 3, you know what I mean? But I feel like he hasn't missed the playoffs yet, so we want to see something. So he's there against Trevor. That's a fantastic game. Cincinnati and Baltimore. Lamar Jackson is not playing until he gets that contract. I'm convinced. I bet you if he had the money already, he would be healthy enough to play. But that's another story for another day. And then Buffalo and Miami. And then just to stay with Miami real quick, does Tua need to retire?
Yes.
Is it time? Because remember Kevin Cobb was forced to retire for the same exact reason. And he wasn't wasn't a high pick, but he had like a little promising thing going for him, and too much concussions consecutively, like in the same season.
I'm convinced he's had more than they told us.
100%.
We'll say that.
Of course.
I don't know. I don't want to speak about somebody else's. I don't know. I wouldn't blame him if he wanted to come back, but man.
He's out for a playoff game. That's how you know it's bad. It's been 2 weeks. I'm like, he can't even play in a playoff game. I don't know, man. I've seen this guy cramp up on the field. I've seen him wobble. I've seen way too much, and he's been so liable for injury his whole career since college. That's why he never won a Heisman, because he would get hurt in the season all the time. So
yeah, and it wasn't concussions though. It was a lot of ligament stuff back then.
Yeah,
when he was at Alabama. I am concerned. I will say that I'm not gonna sit here and give you that fake, bullshit where it's like, oh my God, I hope for his life he just stops playing.
But no, seriously though, like imagine that was your son.
No, 100%, 100%. And as a Pats fan, I would love to have him out of the division, because I think this year he was getting it going, man. I think he had it. He had it this year with McDaniel, with the receivers. He was locked in, and it's a shame that I think should hang it up. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a good look on the NFL. I'm not the smart. I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
Yeah,
but armchair doctor over here, I don't know. I don't know if I'd risk it, but it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
It is. And last week I told A-Rod, like, especially after the Hamlin thing, like there hasn't been any good PR in the NFL in some time now. Like there's been one thing after another, and it just so happened that Monday Night Football game was going to be probably the most watched football game ever because of what was at stake. There was nothing else on TV to affect it, because immediately after the injury, you can flip it to any news channel. They all had it. They all had it on. So everyone was plugged in for that moment. So it's like another bad thing, even though it wasn't a concussion. It's like another bad thing they image that you got to put on the NFL. And I don't know if the NFL would step in. They can't tell him, man, you can't play. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe Miami doesn't feel. I don't know. You're right though. It's hard to play doctor. It's hard to do all that stuff when you don't really know, what the situation is. So yeah, but yeah, that's the AFC. That's what we got set up for the playoffs. Get back to you, Sammy. So this is your conference. What are you looking forward to in this wild card weekend? You're on mute or something.
It's the chart. Sorry about that. I had the cats meowing, so I had to mute it a little bit. I'm going to be the boring one and say the Chargers, Jaguars, but I'm going to let you guys get to the analysis on it. I just want to point out, Victor already apologized to me on the podcast about Trevor Lawrence when I said that he is a good quarterback. He is a viable quarterback. He's had a pretty good season. But I believe it was on this on this podcast, but we were discussing when Christian Kirk got his bag. Now, thinking back on it now, do we think Christian Kirk deserved to get that bag, considering how important he was to possibly Trevor Lawrence development, the offense, and Jacksonville getting to this point as well?
Jacksonville? Is that what they're calling it?
Saxonville.
Oh,
Jacksonville.
Go ahead, Vic.
Oh, I have nothing. I think he's right. He's right. Christian Kirk deserved that bag. I got my Jaguars jersey downstairs. I was gonna run downstairs real quick and throw it on. I got it's a Blake Bortles jersey, but it's good enough.
Hey, it counts.
Yeah.
Ripping Stogs. Is he ripping sticks? Yeah. Working construction.
What would you be doing? What would you be doing if you weren't playing football? I don't know. I was working construction, ripping sticks.
What do you do in the morning? Wake up in the morning, take a piss like everybody else.
Hey, we heard you bought a Tesla to quit dipping. How'd that go? Oh, I just drove the Tesla to the gas station to get dip anyway.
I think the Christian Kirk signing, I think it's a little bit puzzling for us because we all thought at the same time, like that doesn't make sense to get that, because now you're strong. Like, you guys are money guys, you guys are numbers guys. You're quick to cut somebody, one of those type of guys. You look at a guy like Christian Kirk, who did he have 1,000-yard season with Arizona at all?
1,108.
Okay, so he had 1,000-yard season. He was there for what, 3 or 4 years?
But and he was extremely talented coming out of college too.
Oh yeah, no, the talent is definitely there. It's just the production didn't match the money, in my opinion, at that moment.
I agree.
A-Rod's making me out to be like Kyle Bloom. I'm not Kyle Bloom over here, okay?
No, Sammy is. Sammy definitely is. Sammy's definitely a money guy, man. But no,
I know what you mean by that, and I'm gonna text you later.
Hey, Sammy, is that your hair or a hat? I can't tell.
I think for us seeing that, and for him to kind of for that to be the receiver, to strong arm the receiver market, to get all these wide receivers panties in a wad, I think that's just like the weird guy to do it. I think that's not the guy who should have. But at the same time, it did help him. But he also had a great cast of characters around him. Zay Jones, who was written as the next best thing in Buffalo. He went to, I forgot where, and got
Raiders, I think, right?
Raiders. He went to the Raiders. He got caught on that balcony, like trying to rob his brother or some weird shit. I don't know. Caught him naked in the hotel lobby and shit. It was weird. Right. And then he went somewhere else. And then you come into Jacksonville and you blow up like you should have from the get-go. and Etienne. You get rid of James Robinson, and I think it was like week 7. I was like, this is a dumb move. We were both like, that was a dumb move for Jacksonville, but it worked out. He got his
They
reps.
knew what they had.
They knew what they had, and then
it was
they
a
went and
first
got
round pick. You
Jameis.
can't forget that.
Yeah.
You can't, but he also went out hurt with an ACL injury, and those are kind of hard to come back from sometimes for a running back. But then they got JaMychal Hasty, who's a serviceable running back in the great 49ers conveyor belt of running backs. When one goes down, another one enters it. So, and if all fails, you just go get Christian McCaffrey. So, I mean, they have a bunch of serviceable players on that team, and then Evan Ingram, who I always thought was a bust to complete with.
Now.
but also, what do I always preach to you, KK? When you get signed or it's the end of your contract, what do? You play your heart out. He's there for 1 year.
You got something to prove.
There for 1 year. So 1 year, you're gonna ball out. And as he should. So if Jackson doesn't give him a bag, some other fool will give him a bag, and we'll see what you get out of it. But all of those guys that they signed in the offseason, they did the right signings. They got all the right guys to fit in. And the one thing that made Trevor Lawrence better was removing the cancer from the locker room and getting Doug Peterson.
Correct.
Because Doug Peterson doesn't put up with that shit. Doug Peterson has a winning culture, and Doug Peterson's a fun person to play for. And
he's a QB whisperer.
Yeah, he is.
KK knows that.
He made Carson Wentz look like a franchise quarterback. That man got Carson Wentz paid.
And Nick Foles, what you mean?
He got Nick Foles to the Super Bowl. He made Carson Wentz got paid. Like, come on, man. That is amazing work right there. And he knew Jalen Hurts. He was like, hey, I know I could fix this guy. He is. He really is.
And let's not lie, that Jacksonville defense isn't nothing to sneeze at either.
Oh yeah.
They got some great players there. They got that corner. What's his name? They're right here. Michael. Not Michael. That's the Chargers. Hold on. Let me pull up their lineup real quick. What's that? The guy on the outside.
He didn't come prepared.
He didn't come prepared.
He didn't come prepared for the meeting.
Tyson Campbell.
Tyson Campbell. Okay.
Thank you. All right, so they got Tyson Campbell in there, one of the best corners in the league, according to Pro Football Focus, ranked 5th out of all cornerbacks in the league. So both teams are evenly matched on paper. Overall rank for the Chargers is 12th, 15th for the Jags. I think there's no doubt about it. This is my game of the weekend. This is the game I'm going to be sitting down watching for sure on Saturday.
Sunday sucks. Saturday's the day, man.
Yo, I gotta cancel all my plans. I wanted to go party on Saturday, and I can't because I gotta watch football.
Yeah.
I'm
a Disney hotel room. So.
Oh yeah, you're right. But for me, that's the game. Listen, Cincinnati is gonna. If Lamar Jackson's not playing, the way Cincinnati has been playing these last few weeks, they're on a Super Bowl track right now. And then Buffalo, Miami, there's no Tua. Buffalo is in Buffalo. They're going to run through Miami as well. So we kind of already know what's going to happen with that. Jacksonville and the Chargers, I don't know. The last time I saw the spread, wasn't it like one? Like they were giving who's getting 1 or something like that? Was it 1?
Chargers, it got 2.
Chargers got 2.
2. It's like, I don't know.
69% of the money line's going to Jacksonville though.
And they're the home team. They have been playing with a lot more energy. Like the Chargers, I gotta give both quarterback and coach credit this year because they've had a carousel of receivers. Mike Williams has been hurt. Keenan Allen has been hurt. Who is what's his name? I had him in fantasy. He helped me win.
Josh Palmer.
Josh Palmer and then he kind of fizzled out. I like the tight end is dropping. Like they somehow made this work without having like. Bucs fans use their wide receiver injuries as an excuse. Like, well, Godwin and Julio and Mike, it's an excuse to them, right? Herbert was able to overcome and they still had a pretty good season. So I got to give them credit. So you got to give the Chargers credit for being the Chargers, but it is a first-time game for both quarterbacks. So there's really no advantage whatsoever between the two of them. They're both brand new to the situation. I don't know which way I want to pick. you know, if I had, you know, my heart is with Jacksonville all day long. So it's like easy for me to want to cheer for Jacksonville in that game. But I don't know. I don't know how to.
KK, I think it was you who said it too when we were talking about the JC Jackson signing.
Yeah.
How you thought Bill knew something that other people didn't. And then what ended up happening to JC Jackson.
Yeah. Hey, it is what it is. Unfortunately, these things do happen. You know, it's.
And even before the injury, he was trash.
He was getting cooked. Like, man, you know that meme with that GIF or video with what's his name, the boxer. I was getting cooked. What was his name?
Yeah. Oh man, I forgot.
Whatever his name.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Broner, Adrian Broner.
Oh, yeah, Adrian Broner. Yeah.
Man, I was getting cooked. That was happening. But you know, you're right. But you know, Asante Samuel Jr. I mean, you know,
you got Derwin James.
Derwin James, Pope Pounding. You know,
they got so many DBs over there. That secondary should be
that secondary is good.
Yeah, I just
thought it was funny he got a bag and sucks.
Hey, it is what it is. A lot of people get bags and then fizzle out because I got the money. So, but yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens with that game. I won't be surprised either way. But out of all of that, who's finishing out of the AFC and the NFC? We'll just give it to us now. We'll revisit this in a couple of weeks. But just off the rip, just from what you've seen at this point, who is making it to the Super Bowl?
I got Philly, Buffalo, and I've been saying that probably since like week 10 or 12.
Oof, that's tough.
Gross.
All right, Vic, gun to your head.
Ain't no way I'm picking another AFC East team, buddy. It's Cincinnati and the Eagles. But I will say this, a bird will be in the Super Bowl. A bird will be in the Super Bowl, whether that be a Seahawk, an Eagle, or a Raven. A bird will be in the Super Bowl.
Ooh. Okay. A-Rod.
A crow could be in the Super Bowl when Vic eats crow.
He eats a lot of crow.
Zing.
Walk right there.
I'm going Philly and Kansas City. I'm going with that. Mahomes just looks too electrifying and too
Andy
easy.
Reid against the former team, man.
Yeah, I want to see that too. I want to see, I like seeing coaches sticking to the old teams or vice versa, kind of a la Lovie Smith type shit. So,
correct. All right, I'm gonna just keep it a buck, right? All three of y'all picked Philly to make it to the Super Bowl, right? Why do you think we're going to be able to beat San Francisco? Because I'm very curious to hear why. Because that, to me, I am very nervous about that one. If we,
no, you're not. You just want to hear us talk good about the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's
all this is.
He wants us to talk about it.
No, seriously, I don't really think if we don't play our best game, there's no way we beat San Francisco. That's how I feel. But Sammy, what do you think?
Brock Purdy.
Sorry, Sammy.
KK, your defense, you already know can hold up with pretty much any team in the NFC, right? And that's including the San Francisco.
Look at the smile on the motherfucker's
I know, I knew it. I knew. See, I knew exactly what he wanted me to do, so I'm just gonna do it. This is his show. I'm gonna do it. So, and then something that I had mentioned, I was talking to a few friends of mine. I also heard it on another podcast. When you look at how the Philadelphia Eagles run their offense, and again, you're just gonna be smiling ear to ear. It's almost to pull a cliche, it's like poetry in motion, right? If you stop their run, then they got A.J. Brown over the top. If you don't stop their run, they're just going to RPO you to death, to complete death. So you have to stop the run. And then from there, you try to think that Jalen Hurts can't beat you through the air and then fool me. Fool me. What is it? The George Bush fool me once, never fool me again.
You can't get fooled again.
Yeah. It's just like everybody's like, oh, Jalen Hurts can't throw. Jalen Hurts can't throw, bro. And then you have AJ Brown go off for 4 touchdowns. What was it, like 3 weeks ago? And I'm just like, yeah, the dude can throw the ball however he wants to. The offense is run really well because of all the perfect pieces that are around Jalen Hurts. And it seemed like the only thing that they really need, and obviously Devonta Smith too is having a resurgence in the last 6 weeks, right? Like I feel like it all happened in the last 6 weeks, right? Like he got off to a slow start and then just started balling.
Yeah.
So he's got They got the short passing game. They got the long passing game. They got RPOs. Miles Sanders is having an amazing season as well. So, I mean, dude, it's tough, man. I don't want to say it, but I mean, they're really freaking good.
Let's not even overcomplicate things here, right? I'm going to go full Skip Bayless here and say, when is Brock Purdy won shit? Okay. I'm not,
he got outplayed by Stidham. He got outplayed by Stidham.
Bro, I don't care. That wasn't a real game, all right? When you guys don't care. You guys you had your seed locked up. It didn't matter. In the NFC Championship, if it or whenever they are slotted to play, if it's Niners Eagles, there ain't no way Brock Purdy is making it out of Philadelphia alive, man. No way.
Philly.
The Philly's the most complete team in the whole NFL right now. You got the most complete defense. You got the most complete offense. The question mark was definitely around the quarterback. Is he going to be this good? And he is that good. He is the truth. And to put the cherry on top, I think all offseason, I could not be more annoyed with you ever if it's not NFL offseason. We just got this guy. We just pulled this, but the greatest day of
masterclass,
the masterclass. This fucker wasn't with the masterclass in the beginning because I'll never forget his face on draft day. I will never forget his face on draft day when they took Jamison Williams with the pick in front, slumped in his chair, and 5 minutes later they pull off the immaculate trade for AJ Brown. And it was like watching fucking Jesus come back to life,
after getting Jordan Davis.
After getting Jordan Davis. So masterclass started right there. First session. But the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, Sammy broke it down. Just when you think he can't throw it deep to AJ Brown, you got You got Devontae Smith cutting down in the slot. You got Goddard's healthy again, right? You got Goddard back and he's ready to grow. You put your little stat line out there because you were all in your emotions about Hassan Reddick and you wanted to hate the Cowboys just a little bit more.
Who got more sacks?
He got more sacks than
forced fumbles.
Okay, so you talk your shit.
Played 100 less snaps. We don't need one less quarterback hit. I'm telling you,
we don't need to be focusing on this Super Bowl caliber team. Okay, the only way that we focus on them is when they lose to the Cowboys or the Buccaneers. If that happens, then we can clown you all day for that. But you're gonna steamroll them, bro. We're all in the Eagles bandwagon with you, man. Go, fly Eagles, fly. You hear from me right here.
So y'all. So
that's all he wanted. That's all. No.
I was actually concerned. But anyway, my preseason pick was Philadelphia versus Baltimore. And I never picked Philly to make the Super Bowl, so that's how confident I've been since this summer. Baltimore, obviously, to me, if Lamar is healthy and everything is clicking like it was supposed to, I thought that team, to me, should have been ready-made to make the Super Bowl. But I don't know, man. They fizzled out, and Cincinnati is going to steamroll them. So, one of y'all got Cincy, one of y'all got Kansas City, and the other one got
Buffalo.
So it's like, I really don't know. I don't mind. I mean, it's going to be a dog fight no matter who comes out the AFC. That's what I do know. So I think this year, unlike the college football championship game, I think we're going to have a very good Super Bowl. I would love to see. I would love to see Andy Reid come back home and see his boys. I love Joe Burrow. I would love to see Joe Burrow, and then Josh Allen is. I think Buffalo has a lot to play for. So my pick now is Buffalo. Because after the DeMar Hamlin thing, they're going to be playing. I mean, they had 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. You know how hard it is to get a kickoff return for touchdown nowadays? Because they moved everything up, and you can't do a wedge block and all that stuff.
Why do you got to mention that, bro?
I'm just saying,
man.
And I'm sorry. I wanted y'all to win the game because I really wasn't. And I told A-Rod last week, I wanted to see a lot of hurt Dolphins fans for not making the playoffs after all the shit they've been talking on here.
So I didn't want to make the playoffs. Actually, I think me and Vic wanted us to lose.
So with that being said, for them to come out, playing like that, they're playing with a different kind of emotions right now and passion. So I think Josh Allen, the curse is probably lifted now. 4 straight Super Bowl losses and everything that's happened to him. I think the curse is lifted. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be back in the Super Bowl, and We'll see what happens. All right. So, wrapping up the NFL season, let's just give out some awards before they come out. I don't know what the odds makers are saying, but let's start with MVP. We'll start with you, A-Rod.
Patty Mahomes, baby. There ain't nobody else.
Vic?
Yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes is a safe bet. So I'm gonna go Pat.
Yeah, it's got to be Pat Mahomes.
I'm so annoyed. Has Jalen Hurts not proved that without him, that offense is not the same? Like the motion does not look the same.
We're done talking about the Eagles, sir.
That's all.
Just say Jalen Hurts and move on, bro.
Best ability is availability, sir.
I'm picking Patrick Mahomes as well, but I think Jalen Hurts proved his worth with those 2 games that he was out. That's all I'm going to say.
You didn't say who's your top 3. You said who's winning it, okay? Jalen Hurts is...
That's fine. No, that's fine. Y'all can hate. Offensive Player of the Year.
Welcome to the Eagles podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Offensive Player of the Year, A-Rod, go.
I got Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, okay. Vic?
Yeah, that's a good one, man. I honestly, if they would have made the playoffs and he would have finished playing out the season, I would have said Derrick Henry. But I think I have to go Justin Jefferson here as well. One of the best, put up, what was it, the most historic season by an NFL wide receiver? I mean,
it wasn't as historic as Cooper Kupp.
Wasn't it? I thought he led the league in he broke the record. He didn't break the record?
No, I
think he just got short.
Yeah, he was short.
I'd still give it to him because I don't know who else I'd pick. I'm trying to rack my brain through everybody, through all like the quarterbacks, and nobody really stood out other than Justin Jefferson.
It was either Justin Jefferson or Josh Jacobs with my 2.
No, fuck Josh Jacobs. He's a bitch.
But I know, but he was leader in rushing yards and was the focal point of the offense when Derek Carr, and had a it's payday. It's payday next year for him. So why not shine?
I mean, he didn't do anything he only had 8 touchdowns.
Who?
Justin Jefferson. He had 8 touchdowns, 1,800 yards, and 8 touchdowns.
Okay, but he led the league in receptions. He led the league in receiving yards. And, and he definitely Is it Miles Sanders? Just tell us. Miles Sanders.
Why, it doesn't have to be Eagle. It doesn't have to be Eagle. It might. I mean, Jalen Hurts maybe.
That's my guy.
Plus, it wasn't like Justin Jefferson did anything that was that spectacular.
Let me rain on KK's parade because I lifted him up. Let me bring him back down. So the NFL odds makers right now have Justin Jefferson at -800 for offensive player of the year.
I know. I know because they fell in love with him week 6 and they don't ever fall off. That's why.
Plus, he single-handedly shit on the Buffalo Bills with that catch. So,
I mean, Tyreek Hill was on his way to an historic season as well, and then
he did it.
Then he went through an escalator of quarterbacks. So
yeah,
we just leave that. I mean,
I was going to pick Tyreek Hill as my choice. I know he's not going to get it, but
nice. Yeah,
because I want to eat crow and I want to do it on air and say he did his thing even without Patrick Mahomes' arm.
Defense player of the year. Are we all on Nick Bosa?
Yeah. I was gonna say Matthew Judon as well, but we didn't make the playoffs.
Judon.
I was gonna say Myles Garrett, but I guess you gotta give it to Nick Bosa.
I was gonna say Hassan Reddick, but
Hassan Reddick
say Watt too. TJ Watt too.
Micah Parsons.
What did Micah Parsons do?
He's plus 600. He's plus 600.
Don't say that man's name on this podcast.
Hassan Reddick had 3.5 more sacks than him.
I like Nick Bosa. I think you're the best defender on the best defense in the league. I give it to him. But
minus 1,100, Vic. That's a shoe-in.
Yeah.
All right, deep offensive rookie of the year.
This one's closer.
Is it Garrett Wilson?
You know it's Garrett Wilson for me.
It is Garrett Wilson, but it's actually close. It's minus 200.
Kenneth Walker?
Kenneth Walker. No. If either one of them win it, I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm really okay with it.
Is Brock Purdy not in the running here, guys? Come on.
He is.
He's third.
He's
He's
third.
third.
That guy.
Brian Robinson.
Christian Watson did have a good resurgence in the second half.
But he only had like 600 receiving yards.
I like Kenny Walker personally. I want to give it to him.
What about
Garrett Wilson? Garrett Wilson had like a string of really good games, but it's like he had like a Chris Olave season to me. A string of really good games, and that was it. To me, Kenny Walker, as soon as he got that starting job, he's been amazing every single week. So that to me, a little bit more consistency there. He made the playoffs, unlike Garrett Wilson. So I'd probably kind of swing that way. But NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, I'm definitely going with Sauce. I would love to go with Aiden Hutchinson, but no, you know what? I'm going with Aiden Hutchinson. Go Blue. I'll let the three of y'all pick.
Y'all sleeping on my guy.
Sauce all day, bro. I knew he was good, but I did not know
on Jack Jones, son. Y'all are sleeping on Jack Jones.
Oh my God!
Did not know he was going to be this good. Did not know he was going to be this good.
Whatever. All right. Comeback Player of the Year.
I'm salty on this. I'm super salty on this.
Explain.
When I saw this list, all right, I'll go last. I'll let you guys pick first, and then
I wanted to pick Tua before he ended up in an old man's home.
Yeah.
But I think that he was the pick. I don't know who I'd pick right now. Who was injured last year?
Your fucking boy.
My boy. Who?
Pick your boy.
Oh, Gino. Gino was good last year. Gino was decent last year.
Gino, yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Gino had one good game and then was exposed. Gino's mine. Gino is definitely mine. But Gino had one good game because he didn't have a lot of tape on him for a while, and then he got exposed his next two games that he played. So Gino was
Thank you. Jalen Hurts. He was not this at all last year. Do you remember that playoff game against Tampa Bay?
Yeah, he was
and
bad.
then the season that he's had compared to that game, my goodness.
Can I just throw this out there? Geno Smith had 500 more pass yards. Geno Smith had 8 more touchdowns.
He played 2 less games
than Jalen Hurts.
He played 2 less games.
Just saying. Best ability.
Best ability. You're right. Hey, Gino, let's give it to him. Hey, that's it. Thanks.
I did not know he had 30 touchdowns, guys.
No. Gino
Holy
balled.
cow.
Gino balled.
Holy cow.
Gino balled. I'll give him that.
30 touchdowns, guys.
All right. Last but not least, NFL Coach of the Year.
Hold on. I wanted to mention.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I did not like that Trevor Lawrence wasn't even on this list either. I thought he should have been on the list.
To me, Urban Meyer was just that bad of a coach that this is what we already expected from Trevor. So it shouldn't be like a comeback thing. It's just, all right, finally you started your real NFL career. That's probably why, because Urban Meyer, that's why Coach of the Year, I want to give it to Doug Peterson, actually. For what he did to that program. I mean, from what we thought they were going to
do should be Brian Daboll.
That happened. He completely turned it around.
It's going to be Sirianni, but it should be Brian Daboll.
Okay. I know that. I know you guys have those guys. Let me make an argument for Kyle Shanahan. All right, the guy went through 3 fucking quarterbacks. Okay, all season he had to navigate 3 quarterback injuries
and 4 running backs too. I think.
Yeah, and he still gave his team a 13-4 record. I mean, come on.
And he lost Debo.
Yeah.
But Christian McCaffrey is God. I mean, that to me, like, did they do executive of the year in NFL? Because like if they do, I would want it to be Howie Roseman, but getting Christian McCaffrey was beautiful.
Getting Christian McCaffrey without losing Debo Samuel.
Exactly. Like Debo
the week
asked
before.
for a trade.
It was like the week before.
Debo asked for a trade, and they found a way to keep him. Like Brooklyn kept Kevin Durant. I was surprised. They found a way to keep Debo in the house, and they still got to get Christian McCaffrey with all of that on the 3rd string quarterback. You're absolutely right with Shanahan, but Doug, I mean, they have a good infrastructure there. The Jacksonville Jaguars have nothing. They have no laurels, no history. They have nothing to fall on. The owner's kind of crazy. Like, there's nothing there for me. And Dougie P got them looking like a real NFL football team all of a sudden. So that would be my pick. I don't want to be a homer. I won't pick Sirianni. I'll pick my second home, my boy Dougie P, NFL Hall of Famer, because he's at the Hall of Fame with a statue.
I hate the Giants. I hate New York. Sorry, A-Rod. But man, what Brian Daboll did with that program as well, with just like hay, just a bunch of haystacks everywhere, man. And Daniel Jones at quarterback, like made it look halfway decent. And I'm like, what the hell are we doing here?
I would have given it to him until he allowed Kayvon Thibodeau to be a little hoe last week against my Super Bowl winning quarterback Nick Foles, doing snow angels on the field.
That was fun. That was not right. Yeah,
bro. Like, I know, and I told Aaron last week, I know he would beat my ass, but if I see him, he's got to get one from me.
Square up.
That's my guy. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that to Nick Foles.
And then even on the sideline, he was still making fun of him. He's going,
exactly, bro. I gotta hit him one time in the face. I'll let him beat my ass, but it was worth it for my boy Nick Foles.
All right, my pick for Coach of the Year is Welcome to the Fly Eagles Fly podcast, Nick Sirianni. Man,
sure. I can't wait for the ESPYs. There'll be a lot of Philadelphia Eagles. All right, I'm done with the NFL. I do like tackle basketball with you guys as well, so we gotta get some NBA stuff in there. Now, obviously, Boston is off to a pretty good start. They've kind of teetered off a little bit as of late.
Teetered off.
The East is very wide open, and then you look
schedule
at
losses. You mean?
Anyway, the West is very wide open. Is this the most wide open that the NBA has ever been, or at least in like 40 years?
All right, hey, petered off. They're still the number one team in the NBA. All right.
By how many games? Like a half?
Two.
A game and a half.
Oh,
right now, and they're about to be up 2 games.
Okay.
But with Robert Williams coming back to the lineup, this is a completely different team. And by the way, thank you for listening to the Eagles podcast. Welcome to 08 Celtics Talk. But no, I this is, you're absolutely right. There's lots of good teams, especially in the East. And for the first time, I think we saw it last year. We're seeing it again this year. A conversion of the East being better than the West. Now,
it's there.
Historical that the West has been much better than the East. That has flipped completely. This is wide open. I love the parity here. I think this is the NBA is in a great spot right now in terms of parity, right?
Yeah.
So we're so used to seeing teams dominate in the NBA for 3-4 years at a time.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors didn't make it to the Western Conference Finals this year to defend their title. So, again, still early in the season, pre-All-Star break, but I love that we're going to have some parity here. I honestly, I still think it's going to be Celtics in the East early on, but I don't want to take up too much time here. But I'm right there with you. I think I love the wide openness and the parity that we got going on.
Yep. Sammy?
I've been watching a lot of soccer, so I'm just getting back into the NBA, and Vic said everything I wanted to say.
There you go. What a good answer. But no, real quick. Obviously, I know you pay attention to the Celtics, so at the bare minimum, I know you watch them. Comparing, obviously, what happened with Udoka last year. Comparing that team that finished the season and the team that they started with now with the guy with no eyebrows. What's his name?
Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah. What do you see from this team compared to that team that made it to the NBA Finals?
It's a lot different in terms of construction and how he runs the team. So last year, I feel like they were a lot more focused. The roster construction is different this year, but last year they were focused a lot more on defense and holding teams to under 100. This year, they said, F it, we're just going to score you.
Yeah.
And they haven't. They're one of the most efficient teams in the NBA when it comes to, and I'm just pulling up my stats now.
And you don't have Pepe Le Pew as a coach anymore, so
yeah, no more Pepe Le Pew, which is awesome. But the Celtics lead the league in offensive rating this year. I believe last year they were like 5th or 6th. This year they're
effective shooting percentage, I think.
No, they don't. They're 4th in effective field goal percentage, Sammy. But they are 3rd in true shooting percentage. But in terms of net rating, another year where the Celtics have are leaps and bounds above the next closest team in terms of net rating. So last year you saw it skew so heavily because of the defensive rating. This year it's their offensive rating, which is a 117 offensive rating in the NBA, and their defensive rating is a one. I believe it's a 110, leaving their net rating at 6.2. The next highest net rating in the NBA is the Memphis Grizzlies at 4.9.
The Memphis Grizzlies.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I think that was last year as well. Or no, it was Golden State, but Memphis was also up there.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, and I can see I'm putting A-Rod to sleep. So that's enough of the stats talk for me. What do you got, A-Rod?
I think you're seeing a growth from the Boston Celtics too, where they realize they can't play defense for a full season and also have to put so much onus on their defense going into the playoffs because they ended up getting gassed. So they're kind of doing the more mature thing. All right, let's focus on our offense. Let's get good shots. Let's play better offense. We know we have the defense. We'll utilize the defense when we need to, but it's a long season. So anyway, sorry. Go ahead, A-Rod.
I mean, you guys got a better bench too. That was a big problem too. You didn't have the depth that you have now, so that helps out a lot. But yeah, as far as
better, but it's not much better.
Okay.
In what way though?
It's better with Malcolm Brogdon. Sorry, I know I did.
No.
This
isn't my show anymore.
It's the Boston Celtics podcast or 08, so whatever you said. But no, you're right. I mean, Brogdon is a fantastic player to be coming off of the bench. So you're right with that aspect. But is there like what's up with the depth? Like, what's the difference between last year and this year with that aspect? Because I haven't really paid attention to that part.
Go ahead, A-Rod.
I was letting A-Rod answer.
This is y'all floor, not mine.
No.
I'm agreeing with A-Rod. I agree with A-Rod. Vic doesn't, but I agree with A-Rod.
You really think the bench is better this year than last year? Like significantly? I did at the beginning of the year, and then Malcolm Brogdon fell off. And that's where you guys saw the Celtics kind of fall off a little bit. I think the key for the Celtics right now has been their rotation. And the rotations that Joe Mazzulla has right now is a lot better than it was last year. A lot better than it was last year with Pepe Le Pew. I don't remember his real name anymore.
Udoka.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk too much about the Celtics, but man, I'm just happy what I see from the team right now. It's a team that fights, and that's what I like to see.
Who do you fear out of the Eastern Conference right now? Like who's the team like, man, if we run into the playoffs, it's gonna be a war.
I was gonna let Sammy.
I still think they're garbage, and I never know how they do it, but it's still going to be the Miami Heat because you never know what you're going to get from them in the playoffs, and also Brooklyn.
Yeah, I agree with both those teams. Saying Brooklyn scares the hell out of me.
I want to go ahead, A-Rod, because I want to talk about Brooklyn real quick. Go ahead, A-Rod.
I don't know what I'm even talking about at this point, man. We're talking about the Celtics.
Who should the Boston Celtics, the number one team in the East currently, who should they fear the most in the Eastern Conference right now?
Y'all should fear 2 and 3. That's who you should fear. You should fear the Nets when Kevin Durant comes back healthy because he's not putting up with that sweep shit anymore. And Giannis is gonna truck y'all, man. He's looking to truck you motherfuckers and get his calls. But I'm rolling with y'all. I'm rolling with y'all to get back to the finals, man. The Celtics look good. I think you addressed what you needed was a bench. And I mean, we're talking Celtics basketball. That's all I got. I hate the team. Go Knicks.
Don't worry, because if I was the Boston Celtics, I would fear Giannis for sure. I would fear Kevin Durant for sure, but I fear that bad man Joel Embiid down with the Philadelphia 76ers. Tyrese Maxey has emerged to be the literal second best player on the court with James Harden dropping triple doubles every night again. He looks healthy. I think the time that Max has spent out, we got to see a lot more of like Shake Milton. We got to see Niang play a little bit more of an important role. Our bench showed more, pizzazz. And although the only thing that's going to kill us is Doc Rivers, I think if we don't let Doc Rivers overcoach us, or maybe he's home and doesn't want to coach, I don't know. I think we can overcome. I think this is the best chance we have right now. After this year, I feel like we're going to be like the Phoenix Suns, and the windows are going to start closing more and more. And I don't think Joel Embiid gets enough love. That man's averaging 33 points a game. I mean, 33 and 10, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 1 steal. Like, how is he not considered for the MVP? They still talk about
because they're
every single day.
Because they're
obviously
fourth.
Luka's a story, but I don't know, man. I'm getting frustrated. That's all. I'm sorry.
So here's the thing: is that the Celtics really struggle against teams that can throw multiple bigs at them, like the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that's why you see them struggle. But since Rob has come back, I think that really righted the ship. And I'll be honest, I think that there's another move to be made. I think the Celtics are going to make a move before the trade deadline to secure another big. What?
I said, whenever the trade deadline's about to end, the top teams always make moves.
I haven't heard what players are dangling. I know Bogdanovic.
I think we're looking at like a Jared Vanderbilt type. Something like that. That's a stretch big that can play.
Get you a white boy, bro. Only white boys in the white and green shirts, man. Get you
Bogdanovic. We don't have any white boys except for Hauser this year.
And Pritchard doesn't even play anymore.
Yeah.
Pritchard got a nice little fan.
Bogdanovic
barbecue.
No, because Bogdanovic for Detroit, he's been balling. He's on my fantasy team. He's been balling, and y'all missed out on Gallinari. So this would slide right in and take care of that need. They are asking for a lot, I heard.
Sam Hauser's been pretty good, though.
Hauser has been good,
I haven't seen him play.
I think a lot of your opinions right now, Sammy, no offense, I think they're based on opinions from earlier in the season. Hauser really has fallen off offensively, and defensively he's not been the same guy he was.
He's a liability.
Brogdon has been good defensively, but he hasn't given us that offensive spark. Minus these last 2 games, I think, the last 2 or 3 games. So, I don't want to turn into the Boston Celtics, but I think we really have a Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen situation with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and mix in Marcus Smart and Grant Williams into one for Ray Allen.
That's not fair to Ray Allen.
How dare you?
That's very disrespectful.
Hey, compare their efficiencies. Rob Williams has a better efficiency shooting than Ray Allen.
Sometimes numbers do lie. A-Rod, you good? The Knicks all right, man? You feel all right?
It's inconsistency. I mean, you don't want me to sit here and talk about the Knicks. It's inconsistency. We win games we should, we lose games we shouldn't. Or we win games that we shouldn't win, and we lose games that we should win. That's what's always going on with them. Looks like we're going to beat the Pacers tonight, looking at the score, but anything is possible. So RJ Barrett's back, so that's a good thing. Look for them to get it going and just make it to the playoffs. That's all I care about. I'm not going to sit here on my fucking soapbox and preach about a 29-12 team of how we could be better at being 1 in the East. So guys are retards. So excuse my word there.
I'm curious, A-Rod.
Talking about Sam Hauser, like really? And we're gonna sit here. I don't think his name's ever been mentioned on a podcast except for the Fair Weather podcast. Now,
hey, I'm
the Eagles and Celtics podcast now.
Hey, A-Rod, let me ask you: do you feel rudderless as a Knicks fan? It feels like they have no direction, and they're only just stuck in the middle there. As a Knicks fan, would you rather them just blow it up?
I'll never forget this. The very first time I met Sammy and we got to meet each other and understand our backgrounds, our sports love, everything. The Knicks signed Tom Thibodeau as the head coach, and Sammy immediately texted me and said, well, there go your players' knees. That's all the text was. There go your players' knees. And you know, Dibs, I really liked I like Wooden a lot. I like Wooden when he was there. I thought he was a good coach. Of course, he was a bench coach, and then he went to Indiana. Or Woodson's his name, Mike Woodson, right? That's his name.
Yeah, Mike Woodson. You're right. Yeah,
I was like, was that guy a coach?
No,
I know it's a ball.
I thought we were about to get a history lesson.
I like Mike Woodson a lot. They fired him. They brought him back as an assistant coach, and then he got the Indiana head coaching job. Dibs is a name for himself. You know, he got Derrick Rose an MVP just to get fucking slapped by LeBron James in the first round.
Clamp.
And then, you know, he brought the Chicago show to New York, and, you know, it started to happen. And then I don't know if it was Leon Rose, because just like the way Stephen A feels about Leon Rose, we never see the man. You know, you can find people in the penitentiary. You can't find Leon Rose anywhere, man. So I don't know if he was like, this bringing your boy shit stops now. Like, Taj Gibson is gone. Like, he is gone. That's a valuable roster spot that we're holding for somebody else. So with the Knicks now, it's a youthful movement outside of Derrick Rose. And I think Derrick Rose is the perfect guy now. Like, he doesn't care. Like, I think he's like 10 claps away for the most claps on the bench in NBA history. Like, you know, Derrick Rose is Derrick Rose, but he's also a good locker room presence. He's a really good guy, and he likes playing with Dibs, and I'm fine with it. He doesn't need any playing time. I don't want to give him any playing time. Let's see what these young kids got, and if some are trade bait, trade him and get some better players, but make New York enticing again. And Julius Randle is balling. Fucking Jalen Brunson is panning out. All we needed was a point guard for like the last 10 years, and we finally did it. We've had
all you needed was a Donovan Mitchell. Y'all would be in a
much
better spot now.
Shut up, because last time I said that, you tried to turn that shit on me. So I don't want to hear it.
I didn't realize that Donovan Mitchell will translate this well that quickly. Like, I thought there was going to be. I don't know. It's a different role. To me, yeah. Donovan Mitchell is good. 71 points.
Everything that was saying was going to happen. So as a Knicks fan, all I want is just some kind of consistency, Vic.
Yeah.
Just make the playoffs. Every year I set a benchmark for this team. And this year we're back to square one. Make the playoffs. Last year was make the playoffs and win a game or win 2 games. Okay. And they didn't do either of those. So now we're back to square one. Make the playoffs. So that's all I need from these boys.
Yeah. I mean, and speaking of Indiana, they got off to a pretty good start as well. And no one saw that coming. I mean, they're 6th in the East right now. Like, that's definitely nothing to sneak.
Halliburton.
They don't even have Halliburton. All-star this year?
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of good guards out there. I think Kyrie. Who are your all-star guards?
Do your East.
So how many guard spots? How many?
2 guards and three forwards, right?
Oh, let me pull up the ballot right now, real quick.
Jason Tatum is considered a forward, by the way. I just want you to know that.
Yeah.
Who's available?
I still have him as a starter. All right. So let's go. I got my East. So, Donovan Mitchell, Jaylen Brown. And this is no particular order, not starters or anything like that. So I got Donovan Mitchell.
No, I want your starters.
No, just your starters.
Give me your starters.
Probably Kyrie and Donovan Mitchell, right? I mean, I feel like it has to be that. I miss me with that Trae Young shit. I don't think Trae Young's good.
What has Trae Young done this year?
Yeah. I just don't. People think he's good. I got Donovan Mitchell and Kyrie as my starters. As much as that pains me to do, okay. Yeah. As far as my, let's see here, forwards, I'm gonna have Giannis, Tatum,
KD. Just say it, fucker. God damn it.
And KD's hurt, right? So is he gonna play in it?
But he still gets voted as a starter.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go KD.
So you say Embiid is
Before
not
gets-
worthy
Embiid
in that,
gets
to
left
be in
off.
that top 5?
I
This
think
ain't the
Embiid
first
is not
podcast,
worthy?
bro. You asked
Yeah.
for his opinion.
This was already an Eagles podcast. We don't need a 76ers one too.
Sammy, give me your starting 5. Give me your starting 5.
I'm just
Come
here for fun tonight. I'm just here for fun tonight. Take your weight.
I'll let A-Rod go. I've been watching
Hey,
soccer.
Rob, give
so.
me your starting 5.
You'll be pleased with mine, KK, okay? Because you know I love Embiid. So I'll start from the front court and go to the back court. That's what we'll do. So we'll go Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant. He'll probably be voted in, and then I'm gonna go Giannis. That's gonna be my. Listen,
have the best player on the best team.
I want him, but I'm just saying this is what's gonna be voted in. If it were me, I'm putting Tatum there over KD because I have a personal vendetta against KD. Okay.
And you know Tatum's going to end up starting because KD is not going to be able to play anyway, right? Or I don't know.
That front court fucks things up. It fucks things up. If it was a center, Embiid would definitely have that shit on lock.
Yeah.
And if it were 2 fours, I hate to tell you boys, Jason Tatum would not have it. It'd be KD because every little boy has a little KD jersey or Giannis jersey, not a Tatum jersey yet. And then my guards are going to be Spider and Kyrie. That's that.
All right.
But Tatum gets
That's pretty much mine. So you know mine. Go ahead, Sammy.
That's the same one A-Rod just spewed out, yeah.
So you think Tatum will be on the outside looking in?
I'm not asking who you think. I'm asking you who you would want.
Sammy. Oh, it would be
me? Who
or Jay Barrett.
Or who
Jalen
is?
Brunson.
All right, yeah. Who
No.
Julius Randle.
Who you think?
Yeah. Take both out of
Who
it.
you think?
Who is? There you go.
So it's three forwards, 2 guards.
Yeah.
Yes.
My 2 guards in the East. Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young.
Oh, come on.
God.
And my forwards are Giannis, Tatum, Embiid.
You can tell he's been watching soccer with that Trae Young pick. What?
Trae Young. Listen, mine, I'm going Tyrese Maxey. No, I'm just playing. I would, though. I would. Donovan Mitchell has impressed me.
Donovan and Kyrie.
Kyrie had a little bit of a rocky little start, man, to the season with everything that was going on. I'm gonna go with Halliburton.
I wouldn't.
Kyrie hates Jews, so he probably shouldn't go.
Yeah, he's a Nazi. He's a Nazi. He is a Nazi. But let's be honest. So, like, if I'm not choosing Kyrie, though, it's JB in that spot. It's not even close.
I'll probably still go with Kyrie, honestly, but
no, I'd go with Kyrie. I would.
Yeah, I'll probably still go with Kyrie. Yeah,
and he's definitely.
KD has gotten off to a hot start this year, and Embiid to me has gotten off to a hot start. And I think Tatum's obviously been fantastic this year. You know, he could possibly, win an MVP this year. I don't have the statistics in front of me, but like, is there like a statistic that you guys know of that compare what Giannis and Tatum have done in respects to helping their team win, like win shares? Like, is there like a win shares thing that we can do with those two?
So there's the
I'm very curious because I don't know what Milwaukee.
Why you're trying to
have that kind of a guy on the team.
I don't know why you're trying to pitch him to change his mind. This guy like bleeds green.
I'm not. No, there ain't no way I'm changing my mind. I'd Tatum, above Embiid. It's Tatum above Embiid all day. So
there's a gun in his head. Pull the fucking trigger.
So hold on. So I have to manipulate this shit really quick. Hold on. You guys talk about something else while I do this.
We're doing some data. We're doing some data migrations right now.
Come on, let's move it on. Let's do the West.
I'm curious. I am curious. Sammy, you're on mute again.
God damn it, Sammy.
I'm just letting you guys talk about the NBA, man.
What would you mean?
I'm
talk about the NBA like you don't
watching a lot of.
NBA.
I'm getting back in the NBA myself too. So.
Oh my God, you guys are killing me.
All right, Vic, I've
watched a week since the World Cup.
You lost. Man. I'm picking Embiid and I'm picking Giannis. We're moving to the West really quickly.
All right, yeah.
The West is pretty mid this year. There's really no dominant team. Jokic has had some, good stretch of games, and John Morant's looking fantastic. Zion's hurt again. Luka is a one-man show. Sacramento is surprising. The Clippers are load management. Phoenix is lost its way. Golden State is hurt. Like the Lakers can't stay healthy. So, is there anything that excites you about the Western Conference this year? Basically, like they're literally what the East was 12 years ago.
What's going on in Utah?
Hey, I got to give it to them. I got to give it to Utah. I thought they were just going to fold. Kind of like, to me, Donovan Mitchell going to Cleveland was the equivalent of Russell Wilson going to the Broncos. I thought the Broncos would be better off, and I thought Seattle was going to fall in his face, and I thought Utah was going to fall in his face as well. But they found a way to just be relevant, and right now they'd be in a playing situation. I got to give it to and your boy, the GM. What's his name?
Danny Ainge.
Danny Ainge. Hey,
Trader Danny.
He's a smooth operator.
Trader Danny.
Smooth operator. But long story short, I mean, there's nothing in the West that can tell me who's going to make it out the West. Like,
I think my question would be, besides the top, right? Like, obviously we know what's going on kind of with the top four. I think my question, and I think you hear this on a lot of podcasts, is like, what's OKC going to do? Right? They have all these picks. They got pretty much a bona fide superstar coming in Shai. I mean, he's pretty much there, right?
Oh, he's there, yeah.
They're 13th right now in the West, so it's kind of like, what do they do in that particular situation? Still sit it out, wait? I mean,
so in the league right now, they are like 7th from the bottom. So Houston is 10-30, and OKC is 18-23. So there's like five or six teams in between them: Washington, Orlando, San Antonio, Detroit, and Charlotte. Now,
right.
Looking at the bottom, Houston's going to be bad all year. We already know that. Charlotte, I see nothing there. Like, there's nothing that tell me that they're not going to be any better. Detroit, now that Cunningham's out for the season, absolutely nothing there. Orlando has something there, but if I was Orlando, if I can get Wembanyama, hey, I don't know, but no, they have something there
and waste him.
I don't know. I don't think OKC is going to be able to get him. I think they're going to have, Chet Holmgren next year and pray that it works. I think if we're going for who has a potential to get that number 1 pick, it might just be Houston or Jordan pulls some shit. Let's pull some shit.
Let's table that for a second. Let's do the Western All-Stars. Who you have for your All-Stars? Since we're getting way off the reservation really quick. Let's go that, because I have a good story to go for that.
All right, pick your All-Stars.
Who wants to go first?
You, A-Rod, you got it.
Luka.
All right. Oh yeah, Luka for sure. I'm gonna say Luka. I'm gonna say Ja. I'm gonna say LeBron, Jokic, and Zion until he went down. So
Zion's down. So who do you got over Zion?
Fuck. I mean, who would be the other big to throw in there?
Correct. That's what you got to figure out.
PG-13, I guess.
Yeah,
no, exactly. The third one, whoever you pick, the other one's going to be gross. It'll be gross, whoever it is.
It won't be that bad. Go ahead, Vic.
I like Sammy go first. I'm still playing around with this. I got something good for you.
This nerd over here. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Sammy.
My cat screaming in the background. So I got Luka. I got Shai. I love Shai. I'm in love with Shai. So that's my 2 guards. As far as forwards go, I mean, it's going to be LeBron, right?
Why you say it like voting.
That? It's LeBron.
Why'd you say it like that? I heard some hate in your heart.
It'd be super lame though if LeBron isn't in the All-Star game. Let's be real here. I mean, he still brings the excitement.
Is he not playing well?
He's playing well. The team sucks. He's playing well.
But damn, you like Shai Gilgeous? They're better than the Thunder. Look at your little double standard.
Why are you comparing that? Why are you comparing the Thunder to the Lakers?
Here. All right.
You're comparing the Lakers to the Thunder right now.
That same energy.
I do. And then probably for the forwards, I got Nikola Jokic and Lauri Markkanen.
Markkanen.
I've been on Markkanen. I drafted him in fantasy. I'm happy for the resurgence. Like I said, I haven't been around since December 15th. So
Yeah.
Yo, Sammy might be onto something here with marketing, though, for real. So, out of all the players' net ratings, in the East, with at least 40 games played and at least 25 minutes per game average, Lauri Markkanen has the 5th best net rating in the NBA.
Wow.
Now, let me tell you how meaningless that stat is. Okay.
Okay. Go. Yeah. Who's top 4?
The top 4 are Derek White at number 1, Grant Williams at number 2, Emmanuel Quickley at number 3, and Tim Hardaway Jr. at number 4.
Okay, please. Whatever list this is, throw it in the trash. Retire it. Fire the editor who allowed this to be on whatever you found that at. That's a horrible stat. All right.
100%. No, so we're talking West now, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
give me your top 5 out of the West right now. Starters, my bad.
So should I go front to back court? What did I already do?
Whatever you want to do. It's your show.
I went into Nerdland. I zoned out. All right, let's see here. So let's see.
All right, your guards. Give me your guards. Give me your guards. The guy who dishes the ball.
There's no Celtics out West.
I know he's trying to find a former Celtic or something.
No. It's Luka number 1, of course. No doubt about it. That's my number 1 guard. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think, is going to be my 2. No, you know what? John Morant.
Good job.
Give me John Morant. Give me John Morant. I think Shea can be a backup since John Morant's actually on a playoff team. I like guys that are on playoff teams. Is Zion going to be healthy? If he is, I got Zion in the front court. And then with LeBron, got to give it to LeBron. Poor guy. He doesn't have very many left in him.
that team was his choice too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Here we go. This is not his choice.
Not
how it works. Go ahead.
It's tough for me at center, right? Oh, how did I forget?
It doesn't have to be a center. It just has to be another
forward. I know,
yeah.
But I like to make my shit complete.
I got you. You got Jokic?
Oh yeah, Dodoy, Jokic. Yeah, Jokic at the center.
Yeah. I mean, Nicole is a sure number whatever.
2 vote getter, yeah.
He's definitely there. LeBron, obviously. I mean, come on, man. He's the leading vote getter already. We know why. In year 20, he's still here. We go, Sammy. In year 20, he's still giving y'all 29, 8, and 7. And that team is starting to click. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, you got Bron, you got Jokic. I'll get to my next big. I'll do the guards first. So I definitely want to put John Morant in there. I want to put Luka. Yeah, John Morant and Luka. Yeah, John Morant and Luka. So like my other big, I did think about De'Aaron Fox for the guard for a second, but I'm John Morant and Luka. And then for the other forward or big, there's really no easy. I mean, Zion should be the other guy, but I mean, the man can't stay healthy, and it's hard for me to reward that. DeAndre Ayton doesn't seem interested in being in Phoenix. Draymond Green is old. Lauri Markkanen. I mean, Lauri Markkanen is playing above his skis. I'll go with Lauri Markkanen over Zion simply because nobody expected the Jazz to be where they're at right now. Come on, they have a chance to actually do something this year. So I'll take Markkanen over Zion. And I got Zion in fantasy, and I appreciate what you did for me until you got hurt. But I'll go Lauri Markkanen as my other forward or big, whatever you want to call it.
And you know who's having a secretly good season too? I don't know if it's secret or not, but DeMar DeRozan is putting in a lot of work there in Chicago.
Here we go. Here Sammy goes.
Oh, wait, I can't see his face. What's he saying now?
He's giving here we go. What are you talking about?
Don't fall for it, Vic. I did that last year. Don't fall for it.
No, but so he leads the league in clutch time scoring, right? Which is huge.
Yeah.
They're one of the best playoff. They're not best playoff. They're in the playoff. They're in playoff contention this year.
No,
right?
They're a joke.
No, they're in playoff contention. Hey, they're right in front of the Knicks, I believe, right now. Right?
No, they're behind the Knicks. They're 19 and 23. They're a joke. They need to offload their players and start to rebuild. That's how I feel.
I don't think so. I think that this team needs a new coach. Billy Donovan just isn't it. And they've had a tough stretch. I think they lost 2 straight, and they ran into the buzzsaw known as the Boston Celtics. So that didn't help. But I like Chicago this year. I don't think they're going to win anything, but I like the team. I think they got to get rid of Vucevic, right? Trade him, get some assets, get some pieces, and then rebuild from there. But I like their core. I like Zach LaVine too. So it's weird. I don't know. I don't mind Chicago.
They had like a rift. There's like a rift though between Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. I heard like it is not all rosy in the locker room, and I believe it because they play very differently, but the same position, and it's hard for DeMar is the number 1 guy in Toronto. We knew that. He came to San Antonio. He was the number 1 guy. Now they brought Zach LaVine over to be the number 1 guy, and just so happened to get DeMar DeRozan. It's like, it's kind of how like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. It's like a weird, dynamic. I feel like they need like a true point guard to just make it work. That's what I feel.
So here's a question I have for you and A-Rod, okay? Because I want to hear it from you guys. Of these two teams that we would consider underachieving this year, which of these 2 teams do you think is in a worse position organizationally? The Atlanta Hawks or the Phoenix Suns?
We talked about Phoenix last week, actually. So obviously at that time Brooklyn was red hot, and so I was kind of comparing 2 teams going in 2 different directions. Brooklyn was 12 game, whatever the winning streak was, it was fantastic. Meanwhile, up until they beat Golden State last night, impressive victory with Steph Curry coming back. Devin Booker is hurt again. Ayton doesn't want to be there. Chris Paul is on his way out of the league. He doesn't feel like he wants to be there. They're relying on guys like Cameron Payne, and it's just I don't really see anything there. I think the window was open for like a split second, but just like when they had Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire, they were right there, and then it's shut. Amari Stoudemire went to New York, and Steve Nash went to LA, and it was over. I think the same thing's about to happen. I think Devin Booker is not going to be a Phoenix Sun for life. Let's be honest. He's going to be playing for one of these bigger teams at some point, even if it's not a bigger team, but a team that's going to be ready to compete again. Because Phoenix, after Chris Paul is out, remember, before Chris Paul got there, they were a shit show. Chris Paul gets there, and in the bubble, and then after the bubble, it was the season after the bubble, and they went from hot in the bubble to in the finals, just like that. So I think once Chris Paul is out, the nucleus kind of, I think he held everything together. I think everything kind of falls apart. There's no real leader in the locker room, because I can't say Booker is a leader. I can't say Ayton's a leader. I mean, Bridges, he's a quiet guy. So there's nothing. Jay Crowder doesn't want to be there anymore. Monty Williams looks like he's already lost the locker room. So to me, and I don't really care what's going on in Atlanta. To me, Atlanta's always going to be the Hawks, and that's just who they are. I think Phoenix, they had a chance to be, they had the best record in the league last year, right? So they had a chance to do something, and the window has shut very quickly, in my opinion. And then A-Rod, I know you got, because we talk about the Cardinals too. So how similar it is with those. There's a lot of dysfunction.
I was going to say that it just doesn't smell right in both cities. I would say both have been shitty, because as of last year, you had the black cloud of what do we do with John Collins? Do we trade him? Do we keep him? What are we going to do with this guy? And now you open that back up again. So clearly he's a focal point on your offense. He's definitely your big score, one of your big scorers. He's very talented. He's young. I think he wants to be there. He looks like he wants to be there. He suits up and he plays. So you keep dangling that out there. And then you have a coach in Nate McMillan, who's a very good coach. Wherever he's gone, he just, I don't want to compare him to like a Teddy Bridgewater kind of guy. Like, he's serviceable because he'll win you games. and he gets you into the playoffs, but he's just like that good. He's not great, but he's still good. So but he's definitely changed the uptick there. I think the problem in Atlanta is Trae Young. I think Trae Young has come into this league feeling disrespected, that he's not 1 overall, that, you know, they said he's too small, that he, you know, threw the Knicks out the playoffs, that, you know, he's ice Trae, ice in the veins, all this bullshit. And I feel like he's just like a diva. That's my personal opinion on him. And that's what I see on the court with him. And then with the Suns, I think it all fucked up when you wanted to dangle Jay Crowder out there and you don't have him on the feet on the court, because Jay Crowder, like, yeah, he doesn't score the points for you, but he's definitely like that bully type of player.
Dog, yeah, the emotional leader
on the team. And Monty Williams, like I told you, KK, on 2 podcasts ago, like he's like one of the nicest guys in the world.
Yeah.
My friend met him at some like Christian retreat or something like that, and he spoke and was very personal with everybody. And I think Monty Williams in a way has lost the locker room, but they also don't have Devin Booker there as well. And DeAndre Ayton, like, I thought he was the second coming of the next best thing in big man. And I just feel like there's too much pressure on him. There's too much pressure on him. And then you've got a Hall of Famer definitely in Chris Paul that's just showing his age finally. And the rest of the team is just like, what do we do now? Who gets to be the star? And DeAndre Ayton's like, that's not my role. Y'all took me 1, but I'm not that guy. This is Devin's team. Like, there's internal chaos there. And then you got the shit with the owner, and you got to get rid of him, and they got to sell the team and all this bullshit. It's just 2 shitty organizations. But if we look at it like you said, KK, which one? I say Phoenix has like that. They had that window. You know, you were the best team in the West for 2 years. You choked last year, and it was you didn't make any roster moves. You didn't make anything that was appealing. You went and got Landry Shamet. Okay, whatever. And that's it. That's all you did. And it still.
Well, they got Damian Lee. Damian Lee was a nice pickup.
Damian Lee played like 5 minutes for the Warriors.
He played well since he's been with Phoenix.
But I'll give Damian Lee, he has a ring. He has a ring. So that brings some kind of energy to your team. I'll give him that. But there was no like whoop-de-doo signings except for the DeAndre Ayton thing. Like, you had to get that one done. And if they didn't get it done, they were going to go right back to the cellar. But now they're just like right in the middle of the pack. They're vanilla yogurt to me right now. There's nothing intriguing until Devin Booker comes back. So,
and even with him back, it's like, I don't know. It doesn't. The vibe is not.
Nobody looks like a leader on that team except for Chris Paul. And it looks like Chris Paul's like yelling at his children. That's what it looks like to me out there.
Yes.
Back in my days, when I played with Tyson Chandler, and they're like, who? When I played with DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin, you mean the backup?
Oh, Uncle Tyson.
Like, come on, man. Like, that's how I feel like it is with these kids.
Chris Paul looking like Cliff Paul out there now.
Yeah. You better go start selling some insurance.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the NBA.
You don't want to talk about the rookie? You don't want to talk about that rookie?
Which one?
The French dude, because I got a good story.
Who's bad? Who's bad? I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but who's bad? I said Houston is bad.
Here's my quick scenario and what should happen. Spurs. Because historically Pop is good with bigs. That would be, and they're right there. They're in the low 5.
Yeah, they're the second worst team in the league.
Their first round pick is shooting free throws with one hand, and he's 70% when he shoots like that, like 40% when he shoots both. So I think that would be a good landing spot. If we want to get Pop back in contention, is he real deal or is it his time? You know, I guess we would call it his Pete Carroll moment. I think that would be the best spot for him to go to.
He's looking more like Bill Belichick, losing his fastball. He's lost his fastball.
He lost the stars. What happened?
We talk about vanilla yogurt. Let's look at the Patriot offense. Now that's vanilla yogurt. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the Patriot way doesn't exist no more. The San Antonio Spur mystical thing doesn't exist no more. these two old farts got to get the hell out. So that's all I'm saying. I mean, Bill's coming back for year 24. God, like, what more do you need to do with this bad team? Like, I don't know what to tell you.
You can't fire Bill Belichick. You can't fire Greg Popovich. You can't fire those guys. Those guys.
I know you can't fire them.
Bill has never been a good judge of offensive talent. Never. Never. He doesn't hit on offensive talent. But you look at his defense, like you want to joke about Lenore Ryan all the time, but Kyle Duggar was a baller this year. Jack Jones was a baller this year. I mean, too bad we wasted Matthew Judon's prime.
Judon was a dog.
But that defense, he's always been a great scout for defensive talent, but offensively, he can't get it done. Vanilla yogurt, yes, but you can't fire him because
no, not fire, but
really
pull the Bruce Arians, make him the special assistant for the front office or whatever. You gotta
assistant to the general manager.
You gotta give him assistant to the district regional manager, whatever.
Special
that's
assistant
what he
to the
needs.
special assistant.
That's some good respect to me. I don't know, but yeah, I'm done with that. Now, before we wrap it up, I'm going to give the floor to the two of you, Vic. I mean, A-Rod, you know we love you. We're gonna hear you every week, but this is Vic and Sammy's show today. I just wanted both of y'all just kind of something that. Talk about what's on your mind from in the sports aspect, something that you're exciting about that maybe no one else is talking about. I remember the last time you were on, you talked about Leeds United or whatever, right?
I got him to say that.
And I started paying attention. I was like, oh wow, he was right. So I'll let you start, Vic. Like what's been exciting for you right now in the sports world?
Well, I'll let Sammy break down the World Cup because I know, his team had a wonderful World Cup.
He's very
I'll just talk a little bit about after the World Cup.
Yeah.
Big time in European football.
Manchester United is balling, by the way. I just want to say Ronaldo was the problem. That's it.
They are. Nobody's going to catch Arsenal, unfortunately. But so here's the thing. It's January, and the January transfer window is open. So we're seeing a lot of movement from the World Cup, especially. So I think, especially in World Cup years, you see a lot of movement in the offseason. It's interesting this year because we had a Winter World Cup. We've never seen a transfer window in January happen after a World Cup. So we're seeing a lot of movement here. Sammy put me on to a possible Leeds transfer. Leeds might end up getting one of Morocco's stars. So that would be incredible if we got a Moroccan player. Unfortunately for Leeds, they have had some tough games, including their last game in the FA Cup. They almost lost to Cardiff City. Luckily, they were able to pull out a draw, which means that they will play a replay later on in the year to hopefully advance in the FA Cup. But Brendan Aronson has not been good, so not great for him. But other Americans have been. Unfortunately, we lost Christian Pulisic to an injury, so he's going to be out for a while. But Yunus Musa continues to ball out. He played 95 minutes against Real Madrid, I believe, either yesterday or today. And I believe, unfortunately, they lost in penalties. But again, young American playing significant minutes against great competition in Europe. Weston McKennie's still balling out. We have a huge controversy in U.S. soccer right now with Greg Berhalter and Gio Reyna and the Reynas in general. And just to put that in perspective, Claudio Reyna is the Michael Jordan of U.S. soccer. He's the best or second best player we've ever had in a U.S. uniform. So for him it'd be like him, calling up Mike Krzyzewski and bitching at him that Marcus Jordan didn't make the team, Team USA. Really weird. And then it came out that Greg Berhalter kicked his now wife in college. Also, weird fucking move. If you're gonna let's be honest, nobody on this podcast condones domestic abuse.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
But even worse than that is kicking your spouse.
Right. I mean, that's low.
Really weird.
Can't use his hands in soccer.
Yeah.
No, it's a really weird move. That's a really weird move.
And that was back in like 91, right? Yeah, it was like 91.
Yeah. It was when they were all in college together.
Yeah.
So they all went to college together.
Yeah.
Eventually both played on the U. Both actually, Claudio Reina's wife played on the women's team. Claudio Reina himself played on the men's team with Greg Berhalter. So lots of speculation there on what's happening there. But the main point I want to make is that we need to, when we're looking for this next U.S. head coach, and it sounds like they already are. They've reached out to Zidane. He obviously said, "I'm no thanks, I'm good," which makes sense. He's Zidane. He's not going to coach the United States, but at least we reached out. But we need to reach out of that soccer bubble. U.S. soccer and the U.S. Soccer Federation is such a tight-knit group of people. It's so strange. You would not see this in other countries where, you know, this type of stuff would happen. Somebody's
You most definitely would see this in Europe. That's how you know we've made it.
No,
the USMNT is
English
looking like
Federation?
European soccer.
We're starting to come around.
No. You would never have Michael Ballack calling up the head of Germany and the German Federation, say, "Hey, why is my son not getting playing time?" Blah 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 blah.
If his kid was as good as Claudio Reina's kid, he definitely would.
No,
He should actually, not would. He should.
I disagree because their coaches have clout, right? And I'm gonna leave you here with this before everybody falls asleep on me. Is I think the next great head coach for the United States is one Jurgen Low, the former German coach. He's won a World Cup with Germany. I think he's gettable. He picks his nose.
Boogers.
Who gives a fuck? He also smells his balls. I don't give a shit. I just want somebody that can come in here and change the culture that we currently have on the USMNT, where you know, and I'll be honest, I think Gio Reyna was being a bitch that he didn't get to play, even though he was one of the best players. I think he was pulling a bitch move. But here we are, and I just hope that the United States Soccer Federation finally reaches out to one of these top coaches and gets one, and hopefully we have a great 2026.
All right, Sammy, what's on your mind?
Not much. The only thing I want to add on to what Vic was talking about is, if you guys aren't fully plugged in, I know you guys are. I know me and A-Rod, and we talk about this every week because it pretty much happens every single week. But Erling Haaland, what he's continued to do this season, he hasn't stopped. The World Cup went on. He wasn't at the World Cup. He was training. He was ready. He scored in every game since he's played. And he's still on an absolute tremendous, pace of goals. He could stop now and probably still have the most goals in the Premier League this year. I mean, it's incredible what we're seeing. A guy go from a league that's looked at as less than the Premier League and then come into the Premier League and make it look like it's FIFA. Wow. Like just absolutely ridiculous. So if you aren't plugged in, I know there's a lot of Manchester City haters, but you got to love Erling Haaland. He's a big kid.
I'm a Man U guy. Rashford's been on a tear too. So it wasn't not to the extent. Not to the extent.
You two
We didn't rehearse this.
Not to the extent.
We did not rehearse this.
But Rashford's been doing his thing. I'm just saying.
He is.
I'm gonna leave it alone.
Not like Haaland, but
he's been on a tear as well.
That's 7 goals in 7 games.
I'll tell you this, KK. I'm one of the biggest Rashford fans, and I'm trying to convert Sammy into saying he's good.
Never.
It's slowly coming.
I said if he continues this pace, or at least stays around 50% of this type of pace for the rest of the season, I will come around. Okay. But we see this. We see this from Rashford. We know how good he can be. Just stay that good.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. All right. He's not Darwin Nunez.
Hey, he scored the other day. He scored. He actually scored.
It was a nice goal too.
It was. Trent Alexander served it to him on a platter.
With that being said, we're wrapping up the show.
Hold up before we stop.
All right, what you want?
I got numbers for you really quick. I got numbers for you. For the winner for the Pick'em leagues.
Oh shit. All right, who won? He's always saying this. He probably won.
All right, so we're picking up from week six, week 5 to week 6. So it was 8-7, 7-8 going to that. Turnaround 9-11 to 8-12. You're in favor 9-11 to my 8-12. Week 7, I got to give Vic some credit. Vic was on the podcast solo with us and said that the Panthers would beat the Bucks in double digits. Called that. We'll clip it and send it to you. 21-3. All right. So after that week, 13-12, 12-13, you're still in the league. Week 8, 18-12, 14-17. You start to get
to 17 and 18. Let's go.
Now the suspense building up, bro.
I don't want the suspense. I just want to know. I don't care.
Here's what pisses me off the most. Here's what pisses me off. I'll jump all the way to the end. Here's what pisses me off the most about it. I wooed you to change your mind, okay? I wooed you to change your mind on one.
Which one?
On that Bears game. On that Bears game. I wooed you to change your mind.
Bears against
39-26. 39-26 to 37-28.
Who the Bears against who?
You win. Bears versus the Houston Texans.
No, Colts. It was the Colts versus the Texans.
Was it Colts versus Texans?
The last game of the season, right?
It was Bears versus the Texans.
No, it was Colts versus Texans.
Colts, yeah.
The Bears
right.
got the number one pick.
I had you change your mind.
Yeah.
No, it was the Bears game. It was the Bears game.
They played the Vikings. No, you're right. It was the Texans.
Regardless, I had you change your mind. Otherwise, we would have tied. So you win.
So I won again. And listen, he didn't do any punishment last year. Y'all need to help me come up with a punishment for this man because this is 2 years in a row.
I got the punishment.
Wear a Red Sox hat.
Fuck no. I got the perfect punishment. If you go golfing with us, I'll be your fucking caddy. How about that?
Don't you tempt me right now. Don't you dare tempt me. 18 or 9?
Oh, 18.
Ooh.
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean be the caddy? You're gonna walk?
No, I just give him his clubs.
You gotta hold my clubs, walk with me, tell me where I need to go.
We have golf carts.
You gotta open my beers for me.
Oh my God!
You gotta open my beers for me.
Needs to happen. This absolutely needs to happen.
All right, cool. I gotta work on my swing. I'm gonna go to Top Golf and I'm gonna make it look right by the time I come out. It has to be a cool day outside. If it's more than 72 degrees, I'm not playing. Okay.
Let's go next weekend. We'll book it right now.
All right, we'll talk. We'll talk after the show. But Townie, please plug your show. Tell them where you they can find you. Wrap it up.
Yep, you can find us on YouTube at Townie Sports. You can find us on Instagram at Townie_sports. And of course on TikTok at Townie Sports Pod, where I will be posting a lot more this year. That was one of my goals for the year. Last year I slacked quite a bit, but we're back on it. You find us every Thursday at 8 p.m. live on YouTube. And then obviously just go to our site there. If you miss the live event, it's just going to be there all the time. You can also catch us on Spotify, wherever all your good old streaming platforms. But you can find us. We talk a lot of sports, just kind of like you guys. We do a different twist, a lot more with the statistics. We also are going to start doing a lot more soccer this year, because I know there's a big soccer audience that we plugged into right before the World Cup that actually really liked what we had to say. So I think we want to start plugging in with a lot of the soccer fans as well, since Vic and I are huge soccer fans. So soccer shows, we'll have you guys on as well.
I appreciate that actually, because I've been trying to I'm a Manchester United fan and we've had some bad years recently. So whenever they're bad, I just kind of pull it back a little bit. But they're starting to play a little bit better, so I'm plugged a lot more into it. So I've been trying to find different sources for me to help my knowledge be where I want it to be, because my soccer knowledge is not what it once was. Like back in the early 2000s, I was a lot more into it. Nigeria was better. Everything was just better at that time.
About to say, Mr. JJ Okocha over there.
Exactly. So lately, Nigeria sucks. Manchester United has been annoying to watch. So I kind of just pulled back. So I would definitely be tuning in, and I'll be joining once I feel confident enough to kind of speak how I want to speak. You know what I mean? So, Vic, you have anything to add?
Nah, Sammy just does it perfectly, man. He's that's why he's the host.
Hey yo, A-Rod, wrap it up.
You can find us on Twitter at fair_weather pod. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Just search the Fair Weather Podcast. You should be able to find us there. And where you subscribe or listen to podcast, you can catch the audio there as well.
I have no words of wisdom today. Just always take care of your mental health. That's all I care about. Take care of your mental health, especially us men. We're so prideful and don't want to admit problems. Admit problems, okay? Take care of your mental health. Peace.